Hey everybody, Shane here, Shoebox Legends. Thanks for stopping by the channel today for a pickups video. Just gonna look through this stack of recent additions to my collection. I have plenty to get through here on the baseball front. There's a hockey card in here, maybe two, and even a Star Wars card or a couple of Star Wars cards as we get through the stack. But this is representative of some of what I've been buying lately in the hobby. I'm always on the hunt, and this first card is a duplicate. I've shown this on the channel previously, but I am one of those collectors now, I will admit, who will freely pick up, doubles and triples or multiple copies of cards that I'm a big believer in. And that is the case for this Buck Leonard from Select. Last year's Select set. I've talked a few times about his inclusion in a couple of Panini products and really, really dig these cards. And these Zebra parallels, they're not numbered, but they're very, very tough to come by. I had only seen one Buck Leonard previously on eBay, and I bought it. It was the copy that I showed on the channel a few months back. And when a second one surfaced recently with a $10 opening bid, I figured I would take a shot at it. And I was the lone bidder and got that for 10 bucks. So really, really happy with that Buck Leonard card. Let's do the two hockey cards now, and then we're going to move on to some other stuff. This one I've actually had in the collection a long time, but I've never shown it on the channel, but I wanted to feature it in the episode today because the Tampa Bay Lightning were just eliminated from the Stanley Cup playoffs, and it may be the case, depending on what happens in the offseason, that Steven Stamkos has played his final game in the Lightning uniform. Probably the all-time best career Tampa Bay Lightning player, 500 goal scorer, future Hall of Famer, multiple Stanley Cups. Really love this guy. And had this card laying around, which is a really, really nice one. This is a Blue Cubes parallel out of the first ever O-Pee-Chee Platinum hockey release, which came out 10 years ago, back in 2014. And these were numbered to just 65 copies. So not a very easy card to find, especially 10 years later. I collected a bunch of these back in 2014. Was a big fan of this set. But again, the main reason for including that one today is just sort of a tip of my cap hobby-wise to Steven Stamkos, one of those players that I really, really enjoy. And I'm very anxious to see where he ends up in the upcoming offseason. And we've got just another heads up. I feel like I have to give this disclaimer in every video now, but Leo is snoring away behind me. So if you hear any snoring noise, that's Leo, just providing his input on these pickups. Next up, we have an exclusives Mike Modano from the mid-2000s when they were doing the rainbow foil effect. Like, look at his name there with these exclusives parallels. I show these all the time. I'm always looking to expand my collection. Numbered to 100, going all the way back to the late 90s. So one of the oldest running parallels that I'm aware of in the hobby, period. This is an older parallel than even Topps Gold in baseball. And Modano, of course, a Hall of Famer and one of the all-time best North Stars and Dallas Stars. And next up, that's going to be it for the hockey content today. Let's move back to some other stuff. I have a lone football card. This is a straggler, and I bought it for a couple of reasons. Number one, it's wildly miscut. I love collecting miscut, beat-up cards. It's so far miscut that you can actually see the top of the card next to it on the sheet here. Number two, great photo. And most importantly, though, John Matusik, who's pictured here, he played Sloth in The Goonies. The movie The Goonies, which was a childhood favorite of mine. Absolutely loved that movie. Watched it, probably 50 times growing up, and even a couple of times as an adult. And it's an all-time classic to me. And found out years back that the actor who played Sloth was actually a former NFL football player. And I've had this particular card sitting around for a few months now. I went on kind of a miscut kick a while back, but I had a commenter recently mention to me Matusik, and so I figured I would drag this one out of the waiting for YouTube pile and feature it in today's episode. And then around that same time frame, I picked up this miscut Yogi Berra manager card for the Mets, and I love these when they're so off-centered that they have some of this kind of these dot marks over on the border of the card. Almost reminds me of like a spiral-bound notebook that I would have in high school back in the day, but a really cool Yogi Berra card there. Happy to add that to my small little miscut collection. I don't focus on them too much, but I do enjoy their uniqueness, I guess. Next up, let's do a couple Star Wars cards, and then we're going to move back to baseball to close it out with a few really nice pickups. But I grabbed this recently, and I was tipped off. Shout out to my hobby buddy Jason over at Contrarian Cards, who has sort of become my go-to source for Star Wars card knowledge. But he let me know about these inserts, which I think are called holograms, but it's very misleading because they're actually lenticular 3D images. And so there's a whole insert set of maybe, I don't know if it's 20 of these or what, that cover different movies and different characters. But I picked out this one as my personal favorite, of course, depicting the Empire Strikes Back. If you look at the back here, the back of the Empire Strikes Back. So this is a poster art, again, called a hologram, poster art hologram, but it's really a poster art 3D card. And it's the same effect that you would see on the Kellogg's cards back in the 70s and 80s in baseball, or even in the modern Topps 3D products that exist in the baseball market. But obviously grab that for the Star Wars / Darth Vader PC. There's a couple of others on the checklist that I would love to track down, but these are not cheap cards. They may have come down a little bit in price, but I think I paid about $40 for that one there. There aren't a ton of them floating around out there on eBay, but I suspect they may get cheaper over time, or I may find a deal on one or two of the others. And then just to go along with that really quickly before we go back to baseball, found this small stack of Topps high-tech Star Wars that I just want to file away. So I'm going to get all of these out of their top loaders and filed away in my little Star Wars / non-sport Z folio. I've talked about this set plenty of times, but it's probably my favorite Star Wars release. I love the combination of acetate and shine on a science fiction subject matter set. I just think these work really, really well. So I got couple of decent characters here, including Darth Vader, another copy of his 2016 base card. And then this Luke Skywalker is a sneaky, awesome card. I think it's called a cloud diffractor, if I recall, and it's numbered to just 25 copies. So a little hard to make out, but this is copy 18 of 25 on this really shiny Luke Skywalker. And this is the first ever top Star Wars high-tech card. This is the 2015 set, the first release, and this is card number 1 on the checklist. So this is the Andy Pafko of Star Wars high-tech. And I have the gold 50 and the diffractor numbered to 99 of this same card. And now I'm adding the numbered out of 25 version to it. So that concludes our Star Wars content today. And then I have 3 new baseball pickups to get to, a couple of graded ones and then an ungraded one. This was an absolute steal. Again, I think I was tipped off here by my buddy Jason at Contrarian Cards. Certainly owe him a thanks for this. This is the Black Refractor Raffy Devers from 2022 Heritage. And this is a pretty tough card. Those who collect Heritage, there are chrome inserts, which are tough. Then there's refractor versions of those, which are even tougher. And then you have this black refractor, which is numbered lower than any of those. And they're gorgeous cards. This card was available, Jason sent me the link, for $19.99. Now, part of that is probably the CSG slab, which I don't care about. I'm a fan of them. I love their, clear glass, and I think this looks really nice. And then maybe another part of that is the fact that Devers has started the season absolutely frigid, ice cold, just having a really, really rough go of it for the Red Sox in the early going. But that does not deter me. I've been a fan of his for years now as a Red Sox fan and someone who watches, as many of their games as I can take in. And he is as streaky as it gets. He will go ice cold for a month at a time, and then he will have, a 6-week stretch where he is literally the best hitter in baseball. And what's happened is, with those ups and downs, those peaks and valleys, at the end of the season, the numbers are always there just about every year where he's played a full healthy season. He reliably racks up, somewhere close to 30 home runs, 100 RBI, your prototypical power corner infielder. So to get that black refractor graded already in a 9 for $19.99 is crazy. These are numbered lastly on this card to 73 copies. So killer stuff there. And then I've got a Mookie Betts here, somebody who's been having the opposite start to their season that Devers has been in terms of Betts has been probably the best player in baseball over the first month of the season. He's the early front runner for MVP, although there's a lot of games left to go. And recently I picked up a graded copy of this card. Now I've had an ungraded copy going all the way back, honestly picked it up in 2015. But this is a second year Mookie Betts. His rookie card came in 2014 Topps update. And so this is his first, standard non-update, normal flagship set card that came out in 2015. Wisely, Topps gave him the Future Stars designation here, which absolutely came to pass. He is I'd say one of the top 5 stars in the game of baseball right now, right up there with, Shohei and Trout and Aaron Judge and other big name players that have a lot of fans and really advance the game. So had to grab that second year Mookie Betts Topps Gold. These are numbered always to the year of release. So this being a 2015 card, it is numbered to 2015, of course. And yeah, just an example where even though I already have an ungraded card, I just, make fun of me if you want, but I love my slabs. I love my graded cards. And I just thought the price that this card was available for and what Mookie is doing with the, second half, the early part of the second half of his career here, really that was a no-brainer to add to the graded card collection. And then we're going to close out with a type of card that I've really been gravitating towards recently. I showed this one in a rummage a week or two back. This is the Justin Verlander from the first ever Topps Independence Day parallel that came in 2018. They still do this parallel to this day, but the 2018 is the best design that they've ever done by far. And it's also, the first one they did. So it's very, very popular. Super difficult to track these down. I was able to get the JV just because, pitchers don't get a lot of love, even though he's one of the best 21st century pitchers. But I found an offensive player just within the last week or two. This card popped up as a buy it now, and it was like an instant smash. It was under $40, and it's that 2018 Independence Day parallel, just like the Verlander. I got the Miguel Cabrera. I'm astounded that this popped up at the price that it did. I feel this seller probably could have gotten quite a bit more for this card if they just put it up at auction, 99 cents, and let it run for a week. But it was a buy it now, under $40, and the moment I saw it, snatched up this card. This is not like a checklist card or highlight or anything. This is his base card for Miggy in the first ever Independence Day parallel. Always numbered to 76, as I said. So yeah, I've certainly been picking up some more of these. A couple of my hobby buddies have teased me that I've become kind of obsessed with these, and I don't disagree. I've really become drawn to those. I've always grabbed them here and there over time, but recently, in the past couple months, I've really tried to narrow my focus and keep my eyes peeled. They're often unavailable, but that Miggy was an absolute score. So that's my latest Topps Independence Day card. And the final card in today's pickups video. I've gone on long enough here at over 13 minutes, but certainly appreciate your time and your support stopping by the channel here. I know there's tons of content out there to watch, so it really does mean a lot to me that you would stop by to check the video out. Hope you saw a few cards that were appealing to you or interesting, and in the meantime, I'll be back very soon with some more content. Till then, keep enjoying the hobby, everybody. Take care.